So welcome to this session. In this session, we'll discuss inverse of a matrix and empty inverse of a matrix as well as generalized inverse of a matrix. So first, let us go through the inverse of a matrix. So here we go through the method which we already learned or discussed in the earlier classes. Right? So finding the inverse of a matrix with the help of adjoints, right? Adjoint. Right? So those who remembers, it is A inverse equal to adjoint A by determinant A. Right? So by using this, here we'll find the inverse of a matrix. Right? So first thing here in this method, what we have to do is first we have to find data of the matrix. So if data of A equal to 0 or that is not equal to 0, data of A equal to 0, then it is a singular matrix. Not equal to 0, then it is non-singular matrix. So when that A is not equal to 0, then we proceed further and find the inverse. Otherwise we say inverse does not exist. Right? And one more thing is, if A into B equal to B into A equal to identity matrix. Right? If A and B are square matrices of order same, and if AB equal to BA equal to I, then we say B is inverse of A and we write it as B equal to A inverse. Okay. So how to find, we'll see it. So in this method, first we have to find the determinant, right? Det of A equal to. So I think we knew it, how to find the determinant. Right? Very simple. So 1 into, so leaving that row and leaving that column, then 2 into 9, 18 minus 4 into 3, 4. Minus, and leave, that is this element, right? So its place is first row and second column, therefore minus 1 power 1 plus 2, therefore it is minus 1 cube, therefore it is minus 1. And leaving that row and leaving that column, 1 into 9 minus 3 into 1 plus 1 into leaving that row and leaving that column, 1 into 4 minus 2 into 1, that is 4 minus 2. So that means we'll get det of A is 2, which is not equal to 0. Therefore, it is a non-singular matrix. Therefore, we can proceed further. If it is equal to 0, then we stop here and we say A inverse doesn't exist. Right? Next. In the next step, what we have to do is we have to find minors and cofactors of each and every element in the given matrix. So I think this is a familiar, but still we'll revise it, how to find. So minor of this element, how to find minor of this element is, leave that row and leave that column, this submatrix will get, right? Submatrix. And if we take determinant of that submatrix, 2, 3, 4, 9, that determinant, right? So that is called as minor of that element. Then what is cofactor of that element is, cofactor of that element, any element, is minus 1 power I plus j into minor. What is this minus 1 power I plus j is, in which row that element is there, in which column it is there. Right? So in this case it is minus 1 power I plus j, that is 1 plus 1 into minor. Therefore it becomes minus 1 square, that is 1. Right? So now that is, this is minor, 6 is minor, and cofactor is also the same. Right? So that's why you can see this. Similarly, one more try. So minor of this matrix, this element 1. Leave that row and leave that column. The submatrix 1, 3, 1, 9 will get. Whose determinant will get? Right? 9 into 1 minus 3 into 1, that is 6. Now its cofactor is minus 1 power I plus j. It lies in first row and second column, right? 1 plus 2. That is minus 1 whole cube. That is minus 1 into minor. Therefore, it is, if it is a 6 is the minor, then minus 6 is the cofactor. Right? So like this we find first minors of each and every element. Similarly minor of 1, leaving that row, leaving that column, that is 1 into 4 minus 2 into 1, like this. So like this is minor of this element 1, this is minor of this element 2, and this is minor of this element 3. Similarly this is minor of this element 1, this is minor of this element 4, this is minor of this element 9. After having minors, then we have to find cofactors. So we have to take its positions, right? Here first row, first column, therefore it is positive, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2 minus negative. So whatever is there, negative of that we get. This is 1 and 3, that is positive, 1 plus 3 4, that is positive. Here this is second row and first column, 2 plus 1, right? So 2 plus 1 means negative we get, 5 is there, minus 5 we get. This is 2 plus 2 4, that is positive. Here 2 plus 1 negative, so that's why we'll get minus. Here this is again positive, this is again positive, and coming to this, it lies in third row and second column. 3 plus 2 5, odd number, therefore we get minus, right? Therefore this one. Okay, so like this, now this is the matrix formed by cofactors of the elements of the given matrix. Okay. So next what we have to do is we have to find adjoint. So how we will get the adjoint is, so by taking the transpose of this matrix. Transpose of this matrix, we take the transpose of this matrix, we get adjoint. Transpose means what? Transpose means what? Taking first row as first column, second row as second column, third row as third column. That is 6 minus 6 2 is first row, right? We have to, if we take it as a first row, minus 5 8 minus 3 the second row, right? If we take it as a second column, like this, right? So there first row, here it became first column, second row became second column, third row became third column. So this is what we call as adjoint. So once adjoint is there, A inverse equal to adjoint A by det A. That already we had is 2, which is not equal to 0, right? So 1 by det of A and adjoint, right? So this is the inverse of the matrix which we are looking for. Okay. So this is the regular method which we have been trying, right? So next is MP inverse of a matrix, or Penrose matrix of inverse of a matrix with the help of Penrose method, or we call it as pseudo inverse also, right? So what is this, we'll see, right? So this is what we have seen, right? So if Ax equal to B, system of linear equations, that two non-homogeneous, then we can write actually system of non-homogeneous equation which we represent in the form of Ax equal to B. If A is a square matrix and non-singular means det not equal to 0, right? So then we can find inverse, from that we can find solution by using this, right? And how we find inverse is this, already what we tried just now. But the question here is, if this A is not a square matrix, right? That is, it need not that always we'll have a system of equations where number of equations equal to number of variables, right? Number of equations equal to variables. If it is fine, then we'll get square matrix, then we can proceed in this way. It is not that always we'll get this satisfied, that is first condition. That means in such cases, if it is not equal to, then it won't be a square matrix, it becomes a rectangular matrix. And one more is, det A may not be equal to 0, right? Det A is not equal to 0, right? In such cases, in general, in regular, what we say is we cannot solve the system of equations, and we say inverse does not exist, etc., etc., right? Now in that case, right, that means if A is a singular matrix, singular means det equal to 0, right? Or it can be a square matrix, or it can be a rectangular matrix, then we can find its generalized inverse or G inverse. So by using MP method, Murray-Penrose method, or G inverse with the help of Penrose method. Okay. Then then we write as x equal to a plus b. If you remember in the previous case, wherever it is non-singular, then we write this as x equal to a inverse b, right? So here in this case, we denote it as x equal to a plus b, where a plus b is generalized inverse or MP inverse of a matrix. Okay. Now we see how to find. So uh, before discussing the procedure to find the MP inverse, we'll see some of the definitions, right? So let A be a rectangular matrix, right, which is of order m by n. Then so the another matrix A plus. So when we can call this a plus as MP inverse if it satisfies these conditions. The first condition is a plus is symmetric, and also a plus and a plus a into a is also symmetric. Right? Third one is a into a plus into a equal to a. Other one is a plus into a plus equal to a plus. Just like that, it's not that a into a inverse always becomes I here in this case, but assume this is something like inverse a into a inverse equal to I, right? I into a is I, just for our understanding. So a plus means here a inverse into a is I into a is a. So like this, if the matrix A plus satisfies these four conditions, then we call it as MP inverse, right? Now that means for a given A, we need to find A plus which satisfies these four properties, right? So how to find? Actually, there is one method. Actually, this as mentioned, this is called as pseudo inverse also. Pseudo inverse. So this we can find by using single value decompose SVDs, right? So which we'll discuss at an appropriate time. Now we'll go for some other procedure. Right? So what to do here? Let A be an m by n singular rectangular matrix. It can be a singular is must. It can be a rectangular or it can be a square matrix. It can be a square also. So then first what we have to do is we have to compute B equal to A transpose into A. Right? B equal to A. Then so we have to pick the corresponding suitable identity matrix which is termed as C1. So then we have to compute Ci plus 1 for various values of, we have to increment I. So we have to calculate Ci plus 1 which is equal to the I, that is here it is C1, right, into 1 by I, that is what is I value that we are taking, into trace of CIB. Trace means in the matrix CIB, the sum of diagonal elements is nothing but trace minus the matrix CIB. Right? So this we have to find. Right? So I equal to 1, I equal to 2, like this we have to. So when to stop this iteration? So if Ck plus 1 into B equal to 5, that is a null set, and trace of Ckb is not equal to 0, then what we say, rank of B equal to rank of A, then we stop the iteration. Right? So we need not to go for incrementing I. So we'll stop there and we'll find A plus. Right? So where A plus equal to K into Ck into A trans by trace of Ckb. Right? So this is how we have to find the pseudo inverse or G inverse or MP inverse by Penrose method. Right? Now we'll take an example. Right? So find a more MP inverse of the following matrix by Penrose method. Right? Now, so here it clearly indicates this is not a square matrix. This is a rectangular matrix, right? This is a rectangular matrix, so we can go with Penrose method. Right? So first, as discussed in the procedure, first we have to find B equal to A transpose into A. This is A is the matrix, right? So it's a transpose. So first row becomes first columns, like, right? This is transpose. then we find the product of this. I hope that all of us are familiar with respect to multiplication. So first row with first column, right? 1 into 1 plus 2 into 2 plus 3 into 3. Next, this same 1, 2, 3 with the second column. So that 1 into 3, 2 into 1, 3 into 2. Right? So next, the second row with same. So 3, 1, 2 with 1, 2, 3, they will get this. 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 will get this. So this is the B matrix. Right? Next, we have to take the suitable identity. This is a matrix of order 2 by 2, right? So we have to take suitable identity matrix. That means here C1 is nothing but identity matrix of order 2. That is 1, 0, 0, 1. So next step, so here C1, now we have to take I equal to 1. That means we have to find C2. So how to find C2? So here I equal to 1, right? I into identity matrix into 1 by 1, because I equal to 1. Here we are taking I equal to 1, right? So trace of C1b minus C1b. C1 already we got, B also we already calculated, which is nothing but A transpose into A, right? So C1 is 1, 0, 0, 1, which is identity matrix, into B. So already what we got, this one B, 14, 11, 11, 14 here, 14, 11. So now, so we need not multiply. If you multiply a matrix by identity matrix, anyhow the same matrix we get. Right? So this is C1b. Next, trace of C1b, trace of this matrix. Trace means sum of diagonal elements. That is 14 plus 14, that is 28. So now we got C1b, and trace of C1b, we will find C2. C2 is identity matrix, that is 1, 0, 0, 1 into 1. Trace is 28 minus C1b, that is 14, 11. Right? So this one. Right? So now we got C2. Next, here it is not, we are not getting the conditions what we discussed, right? What that is what you see the condition. C k plus 1 into b equal to 5, right? It is not happening, right? So that means we have to proceed further. Okay, here C1b is not becoming null set, right? So then we have to go further and see with C2b, right? If C2b is not satisfying the condition, then we have to go for C3b, like this, right? So now I equal to 1, fine. Next we have to go for I equal to 2. Right? I equal to 2. So then C3, I into 1 by 2, trace of C2b minus C2b. So C2b means already just now we calculated C2, right? C 14 minus 11, 14, right? Right? C2 into B. So at the beginning we calculated this, right? A transpose into A, that is. So this we are getting. Now trace of this. Trace of this is 75 plus 75, that is 150. Now C3 is substituting here, I into 1 by 2, trace of C2b 150 minus C2b. So then we are getting answer. That is, when k equal to 2, the condition is satisfied here. Right? So then we have to stop the iteration. Right? Then, so we have to calculate A plus. Right? So here the condition is satisfied when k equal to 2, right? So then, so k equal to 2, C2 A transpose, trace of C2b. All the values we had, right? 2, trace of C2 in the previous step we calculated, which is 150, and C2 what we had is 14 minus 11 minus 11, 14, and B is the what we calculated at the beginning, right? A transpose into E, right? That is. Now 1 by 75, just multiplication, this with this gives, and this with this will get second one, right? So this row with this column will get this. Similarly, minus 11 and 14, if we do with this column, we get this. Now this with this will get, and this with the last column will get this. So this is what we get, right? So this is what we call as generalized inverse, right, by Penrose method. or MP inverse or pseudo inverse. So whatever the name that you want, we can carry it. So next another one is generalized inverse of a matrix. Right? So this is another matrix, another inverse of a matrix. Right? Let A be a, here again the same. So in the first method or in regular discussion, we always look for A to be a square matrix. Here the MP method, inverse by MP method, so we are not imposing any restriction like that, right? It can be rectangular matrix. So here also M by N matrix. So when A bar, here we denote it by A bar. So when it comes is, if there exists a matrix A bar such that A into A bar into A equal to I, so then this A bar is called as G inverse or conditional inverse, right? So on a very important note, it's very important because why I'm saying important is, in general we know in a regular discussion, whenever for a matrix A inverse or a general inverse, right, exists, it is unique. Should not be different, right, for different people, different methods. But in case of conditional inverse, right, it may not be unique, right? It can have different conditions, C inverses, right? A conditional inverse exists for each matrix. There is no restriction on conditional inverse of a matrix, right? So for if you take any matrix, so it will have conditional inverse. Right? Some properties. So MP inverse is also a one kind of G inverse. Right? So the previous one, if you remember, there also we mentioned G inverse, right? But the C inverse need not be MP inverse because it has to satisfy that conditions, right? A plus is symmetric, A plus A is symmetric, like 4 conditions, right? So that's why C inverse need not be MP inverse, but MP inverse is also a G inverse. And the other one is, as we discussed, it is not unique. And very important point, if A is a matrix of order m by n, then its C inverse is of order n by m. This is very important. Remember it, remember it, remember it. If A is a matrix of order m by n, then its C inverse is of order n by m. Very important one. Another one in this, A is always idempotent here, A square equal to A. So before discussing the process of finding C inverse, let us define one more term, that is Hermite form of a matrix. So this is also an important term to remember. Sometimes they ask, in most of the exams they ask, in short questions they'll ask, define Hermite form of a matrix. Right? So when we can say Hermite form, a square matrix H of n by n order, right? So always it is a square matrix. So if first condition is it is upper triangular. So I think you remember what is upper triangle in a square matrix, particularly if you take principal diagonal. So all the elements below the principal diagonal are zeros. Right? That is first condition. Second condition, only zeros and ones are in the diagonal. There should not be any other. So in the diagonal should contain ones, zeros only. Right? There should not be any other number. Third one is, if a row has a 0 on the diagonal, then every element in that row is 0. That means if you take any row, right? So this is a diagonal. Here if it is 0, that means in a given row, the diagonal element is 0, then the rest of the elements are zeros. Next. If a column has 1 on the diagonal, then every diagonal element is 0 wherever it appears. That means, suppose if you take a column, here 1 is there in the column. So then the rest of the elements should be zeros. Suppose here in a column, here 1 is there, then rest of the elements should have to be zeros. If a matrix satisfies all these properties, that is H is upper triangular, only zeros and ones in the diagonal, If a row has a 0 on the diagonal, then every other element is 0 in that row. And one more is, if in a column any element is 1, then rest of the elements are zeros. Then it is called as Hermite form of the matrix, or HF of the matrix. How to find? Just we'll see. Now it becomes very clear with this example. Find C inverse or G inverse of the matrix A equal to this. Now what is the order of this matrix? 3 rows and 2 columns, right? So first what we have to do is, so first step is we have to make it as a square matrix by adding required number of dummy rows, that are extra rows or extra columns where the entries are zeros. So in this case we got a 3 by 2 matrix, right? This is the matrix given, right? So now we have to make it as a square matrix by adding an extra column with zeros. So now we have to take A equal to IA. Okay? So where A is the given the matrix which is converted to square matrix, and I is the corresponding identity. So now what we have to do is, so this is right, A, I and A. Now we have to convert this matrix into Hermite form. So convert this into Hermite form by using only row operations. Only row operations. Right? I repeat. So we have to use row operations and convert this matrix into Hermite form. While doing so, because it is a transformation, right, we have to apply same row transformation on this identity matrix. Right? So now here how to, it is almost, the process is similar to the echelon form, except with some other conditions. So first thing what we have to do is, if you remember the echelon form, so what we discussed, now this is diagonal element, right? So first make these elements, first we have to make it as a upper triangular matrix, right? That means first it has to be 0, right? So go for corresponding row operation, that is R2 is R2 minus 2R1, right? So 2 minus 2 minus 1 plus 2, 0 and 0, right? So we get this. Now same row operation we have to apply on this, then we'll get this. Okay. So next what? So now if you see here, this is the principal diagonal, right? So first upper triangular, still it is not upper triangular, so we have to make this as 0. So go for suitable operation. So that is suitable operation, it is R3 minus R3 is R3 minus R2. So 1 minus 1 becomes 0, right? This is okay. Now if you see here, first condition what we have been looking is upper triangular matrix, fine. And diagonal element should contain ones and zeros, fine. And one more condition, wherever we find this 1, right? So in a column, wherever 1 is there, rest of the elements should be zeros, right? Here 1 is there, here 1 is there, so we have to make one of these entries as zeros, right? So better try with this. Again repeat, so here only row operations, right? So there we can go for R1 is R1 plus R2, right? Okay. So when we go for R1 plus R2, and same, I think repeatedly same operation on this matrix as well as on this matrix, right? Now you can see, now upper triangular, right, all are zeros, and diagonal element contains ones and zeros only. Whenever a diagonal element is 0, right, the rest of the elements are zeros. Whenever in a column 1 is there, rest of the elements are zeros. So this is Hermite form. Hermite form of the matrix. Now what about the inverse, right? So if you remember the statement what we had at the beginning, right? So definition, right? If A is a matrix of m by n, then its C inverse is of order n by m, right? So therefore, if you see here, right here, so A is a matrix of order 3 by 2, right? Its C inverse, that is A bar, should be of order 2 by 3. So from this we can select any 2 by 3 submatrix. So that is inverse. So any 2 by 3, right? So here this, right, 2 rows and 3 columns. This is one C inverse. So if you want, we can take only this part whose order is 2 by 3. It is also another C inverse, right? So that's why, so repeatedly I have been saying, if A is a matrix of order 3 by 2, then its C inverse is order of 2 by 3, and it need not be unique. It should not be the same for all. So if I pick this 2 by 3 matrix, I got this. If you pick this 2 by 3, we got this. If you pick another 2 by 3, we got a different C inverse or G inverse. Next, another example, find G inverse or C inverse of this matrix. So here it is 2 by 3, right? So now we have to add one row to make it as a 3 by 3 matrix, which is a square matrix, right? Okay. So this is the matrix. So we added a dummy row or extra row with zeros. Then A equal to IA. So A is the given matrix corresponding I3 into A. So now same thing. So we have to go for row transformations to convert this into Hermite form, right? This is diagonal. So first try to make this as 0. So that is R2 is R2 minus 2R1. So don't forget, you have to apply the same here also. R2 is minus 2R1. So then, so we'll get this, right? Then if you see, so upper triangular, yes, we got it, right? Upper triangular we got. Next, what left? This this element, right? This we can make it as 0, because here anyhow this minus 1 will make it as 1. This 1 and rest of elements are zeros. 1 rest of the elements are zeros. Wherever 0 is there in the diagonal, remaining elements are zeros. So only this 2, right? So we can make corresponding. So that is R1 is R1 plus 2R2, right? So then we get this, right? Same we apply. So now if you see here, so what are the conditions left? So upper triangular, yes, fine. And whenever 0 is there in the diagonal, rest of the elements in that row are zeros, fine. Whenever 1 is there, rest of the elements are 0 in that column, fine. But only thing is here, because principal diagonal must have ones and zeros only. So now we can convert this into plus 1, that is we divide that row by minus 1, right? If you divide R2 equal to minus 1, multiplying or dividing, so we get this. Now this is exactly the Hermite form, right? This is Hermite form. So then comes to, now what is the order of the given matrix? It is 2 by 3, right? So then what is order of C inverse? 3 by 2, right? So 3 by 2 means, so you can pick any, right? So 3 rows and 2 columns, right? 1 2 3 rows, 2 columns. I drop this one. So this is 1. Or if you want, you can take minus 2 0 minus 1 0 0 1. This is another C inverse. Or by dropping another column, you can have another C inverse. So like this we can have. This is very important. Generally by mistake will take this as completely the inverse. No, if it is 2 by 3, then the C inverse is of order 3 by 2. Okay. Then one more, find G inverse or C inverse of this 4 by 2 matrix. So immediately what we recall is, we have to make this as 4 by 4, that is matrix, that is square matrix, where we have to add 2 columns, 2 extra columns with the zeros, like that, right? So this is an extra column, this is an extra column. So then A equal to IA, A matrix. So now it is, since it is a square matrix of order 4, we have to take identity matrix of order 4, 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0, like this. So next we have to convert this into Hermite form, right? So this is the principal diagonal, right? This is the principal diagonal. So first we have to try for the upper triangle. That means first we'll try with this. So very simple. R2 is R2 minus 2R1, R3 is R3 minus R1, R4 is R4 minus R1. So R2 is R2 minus 2R1, R3 is R3 minus R1, R4 is R4 minus R1. Now we got this. So still it is not. Right now what is the principal diagonal? This. Okay. So now we have to make this zeros, right? For which R4 is R4 minus R2, R3 is 3R3 minus R2. So applying these operations on this matrix as well as on this matrix, then we get this. This is. Now again we'll check whether we arrived at Hermite form or not. So what is the principal diagonal? This. Right. Yes. So this is fine, right? So upper triangular, fine, we got it. So only thing is, so this is there, no, this we have to make as 0, right? 0, right? Later we can convert this minus 3 as 1. So then we'll make this as 0 with this operation, that is R1 is 3R1 and 2R2. So then it becomes 0, then we got 3 minus 3 and 0, 0. Same we have to apply and we'll get this matrix. Now let us see what happened. Now if you see here, all the properties satisfied, right? Except diagonal elements where it is 3 and it is minus 3, where the condition is diagonal should contain ones and zeros only. So very simple. So by taking R1 by 3, R2 by minus 3. Right? So this is what we get. Now we got the Hermite form. This is the required Hermite form. So then immediately what we look for is 4 by 2 is the order of the given matrix. So then we have to look for C inverse, which is of order 2 by 4. Right? So here we took this part. So this is the one which we have taken. So already what we have been did need not be this one. You can select any part of this matrix which is of order 2 by 4. Right? Okay, 2 by 4, that gives the C inverse or G inverse, right? So this again I am repeating, if A is of order m by n, then G inverse or C inverse is of order n by m, and it need not be unique. That is, so now to conclude, so we tried to find inverse of a matrix. So by using our regular method, so right, regular method is by using adjoint, determinant kind of thing, right? Adjoint here better. So other one is MP inverse or Penrose method. So other method is so general C inverse, conditional inverse or G inverse, right? So here this is our regular thing where we had some restrictions or conditions imposed, that is that A should not be 0, right? And A should be always a square matrix, right? So if these are not okay, then we go look for this MP inverse by MP method or Penrose method or pseudo method or C inverse method, right? So this is all about what we want to discuss, and don't forget to see this. Thank you.